Hey, what it do, everybody? Today we're back with another PragerU video. This is probably actually the dumbest PragerU video I've ever seen. It's about how to end white privilege. So let's just get right into it.
Woke white people, I'd like to ask you a favor.
Sure thing.
Please stop asking for forgiveness for your white privilege.
I never have and never will. I don't look at white privilege as advantages that white people have. I look at it more as disadvantages everyone else that isn't white has. Because if you frame it that way, I believe it's a much easier idea to sell to white people. Because then when you're not saying, "Oh, you have advantages that should be taken away," well, no. White people might have the advantage of not getting harassed by the cops or not getting screwed over to a large degree by your criminal justice system. But that doesn't mean that should be taken away. That should just be expanded to everyone else. It's the same underlying principle. It's just a different way to frame it.
Privilege. You're not fooling anybody. You're not helping black people or any other minority.
I must say these animations are amazing.
And your public confessions don't make you look virtuous.
Yeah, I've never seen any serious person apologize for their whiteness or for their white privilege. This is a really dumb straw man that doesn't really exist.
They make you look disingenuous, which is a really nice way of saying fake, phony, and fraudulent.
I like how they had to explain what disingenuous meant.
For starters, what is white privilege anyway?
Oh, we're gonna get the dictionary definition?
Because you're born with white skin?
What? No. We're just gonna pull out the dictionary and then put it right back away? Could you not find a good definition that fits your narrative?
You have all these
What?
advantages that I don't have?
Also, this guy is just a former police officer. This guy has no credibility on the topic that he's talking on, or no, credibility, I should say, because a lot of the people that talk on these PragerU videos are, credible, but not really. They're fake credibility. They have fake credibility, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This guy's just a police officer, just a former police officer, which means nothing to me.
Like what? Like you can get a mortgage loan that I can't get? I got a loan. At a great rate, by the way. And I got the house.
Ooh, so what?
Why would a banker not give a loan to someone who met the loan requirements? He doesn't want to make money?
Maybe because there's an underlying preconceived notion that that person that looks a certain way might not actually be able to meet those loan requirements, even if they do. Or maybe the fact that a certain type of person moving into a certain type of area might decrease the value of those homes. Huh? I mean, redlining is a thing that has happened and still kind of persists. Although it is illegal, doesn't mean it still doesn't happen. But this isn't a legitimate gripe of white privilege. But sure.
I've never heard.
Also, this is super cognitive bias when he says, well, you don't think black people can get loans? I got a loan. Boom. Eat it, libtard. What is this argument? I did something, so therefore everyone can do it of my creed? What?
Heard of such a banker. Or how about this? You can enter a store and not be looked upon with suspicion, but I, a black person, cannot, except that has never happened to me. But if I was a young dude with my pants hanging down to my butt, I could understand why the store owner would be concerned.
So because you have big pants and they hang down a little bit, that means you're gonna steal. What? Is this guy a moron? Why did this guy get fired for being a cop because he arrested everyone that was sagging? Listen, I don't like sagging. Sagging's kind of dumb. But you do what you want. I don't really care if I see your underwear, right? I don't really look at people's butts that much. Just not something I do. So if you want to sag your pants, cool. If it's comfortable, cool. Good on you. But to say that these people are going to steal things or these people are going to do bad things because they're sagging? What?
Sir, I used to be a cop. Believe me, I understand.
I used to be a cop. Believe me, I understand is unironically one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard.
If I owned a store, I'd be tracking that kid too, whether he was black, white, or anything else.
That's so dumb. Why? I feel like you're gonna listen. I have shoplifted before. I know. Hot take right here. I don't sag. I dressed very nicely. I dressed like an affluent white kid. So you not watching for me, people like me for stealing, you just aren't going to catch me. You're just going to be like, oh, there's that nice white kid. He comes into my store all the time. He never buys anything. Oh, what a great kid. I'm stealing from you. If you stop the prejudice and the targeting of certain people that look a certain way, maybe you'd catch more people shoplifting. I don't know. Hot take, I know.
Or what if I had a store that had a history of being shoplifted by young black women?
Okay, so this is kind of like since black people commit more crimes on average, it's reasonable to be prejudiced against them, which is kind of not the case. I personally believe that, like, since more black people commit crimes, it doesn't mean that it's okay to target black people for committing crimes. Also, this kind of goes into, like, what is actual white privilege, or, like, I don't know, the way, however I would want to frame it. It's more so over policization in certain areas. The fact that white people and black people smoke weed on about average about the same use or same rates, but black people are like 4 times more likely to get arrested for it. The fact that if I and a black person were to commit a crime, and had the same priors and it was the same crime, I'm going to get a much less sentence than the black person. Like, these are all things that are legitimate problems with modern day society when it comes to, like, race relations.
A young black woman with a bad attitude walked in.
What does a bad attitude mean? What?
Would I be suspicious? Yeah, I would.
Because she had a bad attitude, and black women are statistically higher chances to shoplift? What?
Who wouldn't?
Me. I probably wouldn't.
I call that common sense, not bigotry. But there's another way of looking at this. In many ways, in today's America, blacks have more privilege than whites.
No.
It's been my experience that whites bent over backwards to get.
I'm actually glad he, like, preferences this upcoming statement with "it's been my experience," because then I can just tune you out and not care what you have to say. Because when you say "it's been my experience," that means nothing. It does mean nothing.
Give blacks every possible advantage. If two people are equally.
Not in the criminal justice system, not when it comes to socio-economic policies. I mean, how come black people are so kind of still fucked in this country after 20 years or 30, 50, whatever years of, like, desegregation? Is it because black people have the warrior gene and just have, on average, lower IQs? Well, I mean, academia seems to vehemently disagree with that, so it probably is we're not doing enough to, like, actually bring these people out of poverty. Look, if you shot someone in the kneecap with a shotgun and was like, "Oh, how come you're not gonna, like, win the race? How come you're not winning this race? How come you're not even, like, making this competitive?" It would be reasonable for the person that just got shot in the kneecap to get angry and say, "Hey, I just got shot in the kneecap. You can't expect me to run a freaking marathon with a hole in my knee." It's kind of the same circumstance if you hold a whole group of people back for, like, hundreds of years, and then just let them go and say, "Well, now you guys are better. Now you guys are free and equal and whatnot." How come you're not doing better? How come you're not doing the same as everyone else? I wonder.
Qualify for a job, the black person will usually get it. Big companies and prestigious universities fall all over one another trying to
citation needed.
Sign up talented black people. If you deny this, you are denying reality.
Like I said, citation needed, my dude. Come on.
Which is what the person who dreamed up this whole thing did. A professor of women's studies at Wellesley College by the name of Peggy McIntosh. She wrote in an article in 1988 about all the white privilege she thought she had. She listed 46, including this one. I can choose bandages and flesh color and have them more or less match my skin. Wow, that's some kind of privilege.
Wow, that was one out of the other 45 that you just didn't want to show because maybe the other ones were kind of valid. Also, if this was done in what he said, the 80s, there were probably a lot more white privileges that people had, or, like, disadvantages that other groups had, than we do now. Because, yes, as a society, we are usually getting better. That doesn't mean that we're at our end goal yet.
Soon others took up the cause. Today, these so-called progressives dominate our colleges and universities, imposing this absurd notion of white privilege on their students. That's too bad because it does nothing good for white students, and it does nothing good for black students.
Okay, so note, it does nothing good for white or black students.
But of the two, ironically, the white students get the better of the deal.
But you just said it did nothing good for white students. What?
Let me explain. To acknowledge your white privilege is supposed to make you feel bad.
No, it's not. It's just supposed to identify a problem we currently face in society. White privilege is not a personal responsibility. White privilege is not something that is your fault. Just like black people, white people don't choose their race. No one does. It's just a thing that happens. So if you acknowledge that there are problems in current modern day society that we need to fix and change and work to better, that's not supposed to make you feel bad. I mean, it makes me feel bad because I feel very nihilistic that nothing's going to get done. I don't really care anymore. Nothing matters. Everything's a lie. Nothing matters. That's the whole point. But it's not supposed to make you feel bad. It's supposed to make you identify a problem and then try to solve it. But then you have people like this who are just like, you're supposed to make you feel bad. These SJW libcocks. They're going to make you feel bad. It's not supposed to make you feel bad. I just don't get this. This is really dumb.
Only it doesn't. It makes you feel good.
No, it's like I said, just trying to identify a problem and then trying to fix that problem. But we can't fix that problem if we can't all agree that it's a problem.
Because by acknowledging your white privilege, you're declaring yourself to be enlightened.
Nope. Because this isn't like a super enlightened idea. It's a pretty simple idea. There is still racism in modern day society, whether that's on an individual level or from a more structural level. It's pretty clear that it's still there on both levels. But as a society, we can try to fix it on a structural level, on a societal level. That's it. That's all like white culture is. It's just identifying that there are still biases within our society and trying to fix them. Does that make you enlightened? Does that make you feel better or worse? No.
And as a virtue bonus, it also makes you a better person than those whites who don't acknowledge their privilege.
This is like saying knowing that 2 + 2 = 4 means that you're enlightened and have virtue bonus. This is so dumb.
White privilege, which is supposed to make you feel bad, ends up making you feel good.
It's not supposed to do either of those things. I don't feel good or bad that I acknowledge that certain people have it worse off than I do in our current day society. Just saying.
Meanwhile, the real damage is to blacks. What makes whites feel good makes blacks angry. More than 50 years after the civil rights movement, the message is, you're still oppressed.
Yeah, maybe that's because as a society we haven't done enough. Look, black people are better off now than they have been pretty much any other time in American history, sure, but that doesn't mean we're there yet. Just because a car is more fixed than it is, or than it has been in the last forever, doesn't mean that car is now fixed. That's not how anything works.
How can this not create a victim mentality? And anyone of any color who sees himself as a victim gets angry. Now, I wouldn't deny for a second that there are privileges in life. They're all over the place. There's 2-parent family privilege. That's huge.
Sure.
There's being lucky to be born in America privilege. There's good gene privilege.
Sure.
But white privilege? Doesn't it depend on the person?
Sure. That's why white privilege isn't a individual look on society. It's more of a collective. It's more of taking people and grouping them together and saying, well, who has it better off based on race and why? That's all white privilege is. And, well, why should race matter? Because it has throughout, like, most of American history. Just because it doesn't anymore structurally, or, I mean, legally speaking, it doesn't really matter anymore. It still does structurally. Doesn't mean that we can just ignore it anymore. Because just because black people and white people are equal under the law does not mean that all of the problems we face as a country are fixed.
Let's take this for example. A black lawyer and his wife have a baby, and a meth addict, single white woman has a baby. Which kid has privilege?
I mean, they both do. There are lots of different privileges that you can have, right? Privilege is not just a one thing. Someone has more privilege or less privilege. Yeah, the black lawyer and his wife is probably going to have more privilege than the meth addict, single white woman. But also, is he saying that? No, never mind. Okay.
If white people apologize for being white, is that supposed to help me? In what way?
It's not supposed to help you.
So let's be real.
Let's be
real. White
real.
privilege is an attempt by the left to divide Americans by race.
Sure.
It's all theory and all nonsense.
Says the person who hasn't cited a single goddamn source in this whole video.
If you want to fall for it, go ahead.
This is me. Also, how come they're dressed the same? That's a weird artistic choice.
It's a free country, but don't try to sell it to me. I'm an American who deal with my fellow Americans one-on-one. Try it. It works.
What does that mean? Like, I deal with my fellow Americans one-on-one opposed to 2v1 or 3v4. I like it one-on-one. I like it fair. What does that mean? I'm so confused.
I'm Brandon Tatum for Prager University.
That was a cool little whole face shift from angry, enraged conservative just screaming at nonsense to cute light-skinned guy. I like that. That was good.
Thank you for watching this video.
Oh, God, I hate my life. Okay, anyway, till next time, guys. It's been good. Also, can you not threaten to kill people or send death threats in the comments of videos? Not even to me. No one's threatened to kill me. Just my Caitlyn Bennett video. A lot of people are like, someone needs to throw her off the Empire State Building. No, stop. You trying to get my channel shut down? You trying to get me in trouble? No. You always gotta put preference the statement in a video game or something. Even then, that's a little bit too edgy for me. But anyway, till next time, guys. Stay breezy, always cheesy. Peace.